On a snowy day here in central Iowa, we've got news to talk about. Iowa wide receiver coach Kelton Copeland reportedly gone. We'll talk about the news, the breaking news that just came in just moments before I started recording this in just a second. But first, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Iowa Floor Covering, tile, carpet, tile showers, and more. Maybe it's a DIY project that you're working on, or maybe you're a contractor. And Iowa Floor Covering can help all kinds of different needs as it relates to flooring. And again, even showers. Give them a call, 515-379-7000. You can also visit them online. I know a lot of people have a little extra time on their hands when they're home off work because of the blizzard that's currently going on here in Iowa. Maybe check out Iowa Floor Covering and see how you can get prepped for your next big project. IowaFloorCovering.com or call them at 515-379-7000. Iowa Floor Covering down in Bondurant. So the news that just broke here moments before I jumped on and recorded this segment. Iowa wide receivers coach Kelton Copeland not expected to be retained in 2024. This information coming in from Pete Thamel of ESPN. Here is Pete's tweet as of 5:08 p.m. Central Time. He said, sources, the Iowa staff has been informed that wide receiver coach Kelton Copeland will not return in 2024 as part of the offensive overhaul. He's worked previously at Northern Illinois, South Dakota, and Coffeyville Community College. So that's the report from Pete Thamel. I can tell you, and I think I've mentioned this a couple times on the air, over the past couple of weeks, this was the one move that I was not going to be surprised if it was made in conjunction with the new OC hire. I've had people say, hey, I think Barnett needs to be gone. I don't believe that's going to happen based on the intel that I've been given. I do not think Kirk's going to let George Barnett go. He really likes George. Not that he doesn't like Kelton Copeland, but Copeland's been here since 2017. He seems like a really nice guy. I've had conversations with Kelton about this room. Seems like a good guy, and he's a former quarterback, played JUCO college football himself. But let's be honest, this wide receiver room has been a disappointment. And no, he's not been the main issue. He's not been the primary issue or the big issue. No, he's been part of the issue. I mean, the wide receiver room has not been good. He took over in 2017. By the way, give Kelton Copeland credit for this. He got some guys, and I thought first couple of years we saw a bump in development. Now, do we give Kelton Copeland credit for what we saw out of Ihmir Smith-Marsette his freshman year in 2017? We also saw Tyrone Tracy and Nico Ragaini emerge into 2018. Brandon Smith emerged. But it was really that time period from 2017 to 2019. And you could argue part of that was because they had an experienced seasoned quarterback, although Nate Stanley wasn't seasoned and experienced when he took over in 2017. Certainly quarterback play went down in 2020 and has been down, has remained down up until now. So, yeah, there's lots of moving parts in all this. But the Iowa wide receiver room was not good in 2016 when Copeland took over. Remember, they're coming off a year where Riley McCarron ended up being thrust into the number one overall wideout spot. Matt Vandenberg went down with a foot injury. 2016 was really a disaster when you think about some of the expectations with that C.J. Beathard, George Kittle year. And Iowa was just a disaster at wide receiver. Copeland comes in, again, some production early out of some young guys like Smith-Marsette, like Tracy, like Ragaini and Smith. But it just hasn't been good enough, has not been consistent enough. They've struggled to recruit at that position. Now, I give them credit. They've landed some players out of the portal in recent time, like Seth Anderson, like the kid from Ohio State, Caleb Brown, who certainly has some significant upside. But it seems like over recent time, we've seen a plethora of drops. We've had issues with hands throughout the room, right? This isn't just one or two guys. I remember shows where we've talked about not only Caleb Brown having problems with drops, we've talked about Nico having problems with drops. Tyrone Tracy had problems with drops. Ihmir Smith-Marsette was never known to be the best pass catcher, the best receiver with his hands. He obviously was electric with the ball and was really fast. But what's the commonality there, right? Regardless of Kelton Copeland as a person, he may be a good coach, but he has not gotten the job done here. And frankly, receivers have not consistently gotten separation. I think there are times where maybe receivers had, gotten some room and the quarterback just missed them, or maybe it was just bad play calling, bad route trees. But some of that comes back on Kelton and some of it comes back on Brian Ferentz. There's a reason Brian's not coming back. And now I think there's a firm and valid reason why Kelton Copeland is apparently not coming back in 2023 And, I wish the best for Kelton. Again, he's a former quarterback himself. He did have a couple of stints at a couple of different places, including an FCS school and a community college prior to Iowa. But I didn't love the hire when he got hired out of Northern Illinois initially. And I thought there were probably better options out there. Kirk chose to go with who Kirk wanted to go with, and it really has not worked out. Again, they've really struggled recruiting-wise. Like this last cycle, they were just desperately trying to find receivers that wanted to play here, and they might not admit that, but they had a real hard time getting receivers. KJ Parker committed, but besides KJ, it was like, Reese Vanderzee up in Iowa, Northwest Iowa. Good thing they got him. They even struggled the year prior. Dayton Howard was a kid who had no other offers anywhere in the country, not of a JUCO school, D2, FCS, nothing. Now, he may end up being a really good recruit, but he's got to be developed. That's one of the guys Iowa put on scholarship a year ago. Jarrett Bowie wasn't real highly recruited. He got some time this past year. Alex Moda, converted quarterback. They've just struggled to recruit. They've struggled to develop. They've struggled with drops. They've struggled with separation. A number of issues that I think you just all come back to your guy. And again, part of the problem has been the receivers. It's not the extensiveness of the issue, but it's part of the problem. So best wishes to Kelton Copeland, but no official announcement from Iowa yet, but Pete Thamel reporting this just moments ago before jumping on the air. I will be with you tonight, folks. Iowa, Nebraska, a blizzard game this evening. The men's basketball team taking on the Cornhuskers. Fred Hoiberg and the Huskers traveling to Iowa City. They're already in Iowa City for the game, which will be on Big Ten Network. We'll be here for live post-game coverage after. And again, we're going to get more news, more football news coming, folks. Stay tuned right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm.